share the screen. Is my screen visible to all?
Yes, sir.
So today we're going to start with how do we create staircase in Revit. Okay. So how do you build stairs in Revit command? So there are generally two methods of creating staircase in Revit. The first method is called staircase by component, and the second method is called staircase by sketch. Okay, so I'll explain you. So we are doing stairs in Revit. Okay, so there is two methods of creating stairs. One is by component, and the other one is by sketch. Okay, so there are two methods. Okay, now what's the difference between by component and by sketch? So in by component, what you will get, all the type of staircase, type, or you can say all the shape of staircase is ready. Okay, so you don't have to create the shape of the staircase basically. All the shapes like spiral shape or the dogleg shape or the straight type staircase or the L type staircase or the U type staircase. These all shapes are ready actually basically. You just have to click it and drag it and apply it basically. Okay, so you don't have to draw the shape of the staircase. Okay, and in by sketch you need to create the sketch of the staircase basically. Means you need to draw the staircase shape basically. Okay, so that's the difference between by component and by sketch. So in sketch, have to draw the shape of stairs. You need to sketch it basically. You need to draw this basically. Okay. So that's the difference between by component and by sketch basically. Okay. Now in staircase, there are another three type of staircase basically where, okay, which we call the type of staircase. There are three of it. The first type is called assemble. Yes. The second type we call is cast in place, and the third type of stair is called precast. Okay, so these are the three type of staircase basically. So to draw the staircase, there are two methods. One is by component, and the other is by sketch. And the type of staircase we have is three: assemble stair, cast in place, and precast stair basically. Now, what's the difference between assemble stair, cast in place, and precast stairs basically? So see, first assemble stair. Assemble stairs means that is generally that are made of woods, steels, or glass. Okay, that are called assemble stair. Cast in place, that is made of concrete material basically. Okay, RCC staircase. And precast is also an RCC staircase but being assembled on site. So it is um, manufactured and assembled on site basically. Okay, So it is manufactured ready. You just have to assemble on the site basically. So that's the three different types of staircase basically: assemble, cast in place, and precast staircase basically. Now you might have to choose which type of staircase you wanted to build. You want to build an assemble stair, cast in place stairs, or precast stair basically. Okay, and you need to also choose which method of staircase creation you're gonna use. Do you want to use by component method or by sketch method basically? Okay, so let us start today first with by component. Okay, how we can create by component staircase, and in that we'll see the three different types of staircase basically. Even if you take by sketch, you will find these three types of staircase basically. Okay, so I'm gonna not draw it in the same project, but I'm gonna create a new project this time just to explain you about staircase. Take metric architectural template, open up. And I'm gonna come into the elevation view and I'm gonna add some levels, create some thick line levels. I'm gonna add some level over here, 3500, add, add, add a couple of more levels I'll add it so that you understand the type of staircase. Okay. Right. So you can see the level difference also now. So the first level to second level, the difference is 4000. From second to third, it is 3500 onwards basically. Okay. Now we need to select the level on which level we wanted to create a staircase basically. Okay. So I'll select level 1. So I want to create a staircase from level 1 to level 2. A straight staircase I'll create first basically. Okay. So I'll come into that floor plan, level 1. So when I'm in that level, I'm gonna come into the architectural tab, and in the architectural tab, we have circulations, and we're gonna take the stairs command from it. Okay. So when I select stairs, I get this option of components. Can you see? Yeah, component stairs. And here we have different shapes of stairs: straight stairs, full step spiral, half center and spiral, L-shaped winder staircase, and U-shaped winder staircase. Okay. Then we have a option to create sketch also, so we can create our own sketch of staircase. Okay. Now, when I take the staircase command, I get this: either you can pick the component of the staircase. Okay. And what do you want to draw? Do you want to draw a run? Do you want to draw landing of the staircase? Or do you want to wish to create the support of the staircase? What element you wanted to create? Okay. So we want to create the run of the staircase. So I'm going to select the run of the staircase. Okay. So I'm going to select run. And from here in the properties, you can see right now we are, the type of staircase is the assembled staircase. Okay. So when I come in this list, I'll get the list options like assemble staircase, cast in place, and precast stairs. Okay, so you can select which type of staircase you want to build. I'll right now take an assemble staircase, and in assemble staircase, I'm going to take 190 maximum riser with 250 ongoing basically. Okay, I can take industrial and assemble also apart, this disable or some private staircase as well. So whichever type of assemble staircase you want to pick, you can pick it. 250 maximum staircase. Right now, once you select the component, I'm going to create a straight component staircase. I've selected the type of staircase as well. over here at the bottom, this is important. The properties is important basically. So from which level you're going to start the staircase? So I'm going to start the staircase from level 1, starting exactly offset from the 0 level. Then the top level, I'll create this staircase up to level 2. Okay, and the top offset will also remain as 0. Okay, then the desired number of risers. That means how many number of steps you wanted to add in the staircase. So currently it is adding 22 staircase, basically the 22 steps. So 22 steps, we have the level height is of 4000 mm. Okay, so it divides. So if I'm keeping 22 risers and 4000 is my level height, so the riser height comes to 181.8 mm basically. Okay, which is absolutely fine because we said that maximum riser height that we're going to take it is up to 190 mm. Now, if I supposingly increase the number of risers from 22 to 24, the riser height might reduce. Okay, because the count of risers yeah increase. But if I start reducing, the count of riser will start increasing it basically. Okay, so you need to uh, make sure that how many number of riser you want, and you can keep an eye on the riser height basically. That what happens when you change the number of risers basically. Okay, unfortunately we cannot provide the riser height. Okay, it strictly depends on what number of risers that you're going to use basically. Okay, so I'm going to put it back to 24. So it's gonna add riser height of 166.7 mm of per riser height. Now the actual thread depth is gonna be of 250 mm, which is fine, which we have also taken that type only. But if you want maybe the thread depths of you know 300 mm or 350 or more than that, basically that you can still change this the thread depths. Okay, and my first riser will start from the first step, so that's fine. Number one is okay. So these are the properties that we need to set before we start creating any type of staircase basically. So we need to select from which base level we're going to start, up till which top level it's going to end, and what will be the number of riser count, and what will be the thread depth, and what will be the start number from basically. Okay, so all this is set up, and now I can create a staircase, a straight staircase actually, and I'm going to draw it a straight component line. So I'm going to draw it vertically. So you can see when I'm drawing it, you can actually see that 7 risers have been created, and it tells me that 17 are still remaining. 9 risers created, 15 remaining, 10 risers created, 13 remaining, and all that. So now I can drag, drag, drag. Now if I'm dragging more, it's not going to create more number of steps basically, because the last number of steps that I've told it is to create only 24. So it's not going to create more than 24 number of steps. Even if I'm dragging the line basically a little ahead, you can see if I'm still dragging, it's not creating more than that basically. It ends where the 24 count comes basically. So it really doesn't matter if you drag it a lot way along as well basically. Okay, so I'm going to drag up till here, and my straight staircase is ready, and now I can hit on the finish edit mode to complete the staircase basically. So I'm going to click on finish editing mode, and I'm done with creating a straight type of staircase basically. Okay, and a simple staircase we have created basically. And if you wanted to create a precast staircase, okay, or cast in place staircase, once again you can take the stairs command, select the type. So now we're going to change the type from a simple stairs to cast in place. You can select the base level, the top level, the number of risers. Once again, I'm going to get 24. And this time the thread depth is 280 mm, which we can slightly increase this to 300 mm. And the number of start number would be 1. Apply. And I can create an cast in place staircase right over here. Okay. And once you create, you can click on the finish editing mode to complete. Okay, and then we can create even the precast staircase. Stairs, take the type as precast from level 1 to level 2. The number of steps that you want, the thread depths that you want, and we can create one of these over here. The finish editing mode. So a straight staircase using assembly mode. This is using the casting place, and this is precast staircase. Okay. So now if I look into my three-dimension view, 3D view, we'll see that we have three straight staircase. Okay, I can switch this to realistic mode and find details. As you can see, this is the assemble staircase, which we can apply the material of wood. This is the cast in place, which already have the structural material. The RCC concreting material is already applied. And this is our precast staircase, so which is also having the RCC concrete material applied. Basically. Okay. We can edit these staircase. We can also edit the railing also. So we'll edit the railing later on. First, we'll edit the staircase, and then we'll complete the creation of railing. Okay. You can delete the railing at the moment right now. Maybe you don't want to focus on railings. We can select and delete them. Okay. So this is component component staircase. We can create the other component staircase as well. So once again, I'll come into that level. Take the stairs command. Take the other component, that's the full step spiral. You can select the base level, the top level, the number of steps that you wanted in that, and the thread depth that you're going to take it up. And then you can click on apply, and you can start creating that assemble staircase in spiral format. You can hit on finish mode. Okay, you can create this in the precast format as well, or cast in place as well. You can increase the radius as well.
So what if you want to add like a mid landing between them?
Uh, Between them, if you want to add a mid landing, you take the different type of staircase. For example, I'll take this center and spiral, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to define the center point first, and then I'm going to start from here. I'm going to stop it over here. So like suppose 5 of it I've created, and I'll stop it. Then again I'll start it from here again. So there you can see that there is a mid landing created. Okay, and then again you can start off it basically.
So sort of
So
similar pattern would be observed for the straight staircase as well.
it is. So if you wanted in the beginning, it would be on like take the stairs command and take the straight staircase, and I'll just number of copies 4 only, and we could take this as 300 mm left, and this time I'm going to create like 5 staircase. Okay, then I'm going to leave it a little space, and then again I'm going to continue another 5 steps, or let's say another 8 number of steps, leave a little space, and then continue to the last step. So wherever I left the space, the space gets converted into landing. So there we go. We get two landing one and landing two. Okay. So now if I click on the finish mode, there will be two landings over here. Landing number one, landing number two, basically. Okay. So wherever you stop in middle, that middle point will get converted into landings, basically. Then you can again continue, basically. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So once again, I'll come back to the level, and we can pick the stairs, and we can pick the other type of staircase also. So we have the L type staircase. We can directly create an L type staircase. It's the L staircase, and you can create the U-shaped pointer staircase. And if you want to create the dogleg staircase, you can create that as well. So for creating the dogleg staircase, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this straight staircase. I'm going to give like the number of counts, how many number of counts you wanted, what the depths you wanted actually. 26 counts staircase. And I'm going to create 13 riser on this side and 13 on the opposite side. So I'm going to drag and make sure that I only create half of it. So you can see 13 rises created, 13 are remaining. I'm going to stop over here. We're going to start from this direction again and going into the opposite side this way. It goes like that. You can see this becomes my mid landing, and then this goes up again basically. And you can select them and you can drag this a little bit this way. So yeah, the staircase revolving all the way around. And then you can click on the finish mode. Complete. We have got all the different shapes style of staircase. Just really remove this railing basically there because we'll add that later on actually. Right now, just focusing on the staircase. Okay. So these are using the stair by component command basically. Okay, where we pick the component shape and create the stairs. Now we can one by one come and edit these staircase also basically. So let's see the editing part of this staircase. First, I'm gonna show you how do we edit the assemble staircase. So if I select the assemble staircase, this is that assemble staircase. So even this is an assemble staircase. Whichever assemble staircase you want to edit, you need to select them. So I'm gonna select this assemble staircase. Once it has been selected, it tells me that it's an assemble staircase, what base level it is, what top level it is, how many number of risers are there, what is the thread depth. Okay, it shows that properties information basically. Okay, you can still change the number of risers as well. Maybe we wanted only 22 steps to be created, we can get 22 steps to be created. Now it's going to give me a warning that okay, or you might not be, if you reduce the number of steps basically there, it might overshoot your level basically. So it might like go above the level line basically. You can see it like goes above because the desired number you have kept it 22, but actually it has created 24 now basically. So you can't reduce it, but yeah, you can increase it. Maybe if I get 24, that's okay. It meets the level actually. Then if I increase this to 26, again it gives me warning that okay, the desired number you have given 26, but actually it has created 24 basically. Okay, so you need to make sure that the desired number and the actual number is matching. Okay, because जब हम लोग staircase create करते हैं तभी ही हम लोग को decide कर लेना रहता है कि how many number of steps we need to create. Later on, you cannot reduce it or increase it the number of steps basically. Okay, so ये पहले ही कर लेना है कि how many desired number of staircase you wanted to added basically. Okay, right. Now, once again, I'll come back into my 3D view, select this assemble stairs. and I'll click on this option which says edit type. You see, we have this option called edit type. And when I click on edit type, I get this type property dialog box. Okay. Now in type property dialog box, it tells me that which family of stairs I'm using. So I'm using the assemble family, and which type of family I'm using. It is telling me that it is 190 maximum riser with 250 ongoing step basically. Okay, which you can come and change basically the value. You can change the maximum riser height and minimum thread depth and minimum run width that you wanted to create the staircase. Basically. So you can change the calculation rules if you wanted to. Otherwise, you can leave it as it is basically. Now coming to this basically, so we have a lot of rollouts options over here. We have rollout option like constructions, supports, graphics, and identity data. Basically. Now in construction, there are three construction options. One is about the run type. The second is about landing type, and the third is about the function. Okay, so the function, I'm gonna select what type of function of this stair is. Is it interior stair or is it an exterior stair? So is this staircase gonna be inside your building or is it gonna be on the outer side of your building? So if it's gonna be on the outer side of your building, the function would be exterior, and if it's gonna be in your interior, okay, it would be interior functions basically. Okay, so right now I'm just picking as interiors. Okay, it's going to be your external stairs. We can take exterior. Okay, coming to run type basically. Okay, now this is my run type. Okay, so these are run, which has the risers and the threads. So if you want to edit that, now before I click on editing the run type, I'll obviously duplicate the type actually. Now, if I do not duplicate the type, what will happen is that if whatever changes that I will be making to the staircase would be applied to all the remaining staircase basically. Okay, which I don't want it basically. So if I'm editing this staircase, only this stair should get edited, not the similar other type of staircase should get edited basically. So I'm gonna click on duplicate and I'm gonna rename this. I'm gonna call this as custom assemble stair. Okay, and then I'm gonna click on run type. Click on it. We get another type property dialog box. And once again, I'll duplicate this run type. I'm going to call this as custom symbol stairs dash run type. Okay. Now, if I do not duplicate, what will happen? The same parameters or the same properties will be applied to the other assemble staircase. That's why again, I'm going to duplicate it and start applying the finishes now, basically, or the parameters. So now we have the material finishes. So we have thread materials and riser material, which both says by category. That means none of these tiers are having materials. So the riser is also not having material and the thread is also not having the material. So if you want to start applying material to the threads and the riser, we can now click on it and we can apply two separate materials. Maybe if you wanted to apply threads as a different material and the riser as a different material, you can do that. So I'm going to apply two different set of material. I'm going to click on this, get that dialog box, the material creator dialog box, create the material for the threads, we'll create a new material, get the identity data, hash threads, single stairs, pick the wood, and then you can pick the panel of wood that you wanted to apply. Not much choice in wood actually. Apply, and okay, so now we got the thread material, applied it. Similarly, we can assign the riser material also. You can use again wood, but a different actually material. As you can see, we have thread materials and riser materials been assigned. If I click on OK, one more time, if I click on OK, just click on OK one more time, we have staircase that is assigned with materials to the risers and the threads. It almost looks the similar material only. The riser and the threads are almost like same material, but still you can select the stairs, comes into edit type, come into the run type actually, and then you can again change the riser material. Maybe if I try some darker wood, you can see now we have two different material on risers and threads. Now we can change everything. We can also change the thickness of the threads and the risers as well. So if you wanted to change the thickness of the threads, you can again select the stairs, come into edit type, and click on this option which says run type. Now we have already duplicated the run type, so we don't have to duplicate it again. We have this option called threads in this, and it is on, so it is ticked, which means there will be threads. But if I uncheck this and then if I click on apply, there will be no threads being created in the staircase. Only the risers will be there, which is absolutely wrong. There should be threads to climb on the stairs. So again, come into the run type and activate the threads. Then you can change the thickness of the threads. That is currently right now 50 thickness. Uh, Maybe if I give this to 30 thick, so there will be threads, but with 30 of thickness. If you want less thickness, you can make it even more lesser, 20 35 is a standard thickness of the threads. That's what we're going to keep it. I'm going to keep it to 30 Then the thread profile is currently default profile, okay, which we can create our own profile of threads as well. Currently, this stairs is something like this. If you look the threads, it is simple plain thread. But if you want to create threads that is something having a grip at the end, basically, so you have to create this profile actually. Okay, this is the default profile actually. And this is the custom profile that you can create basically. Okay. So we'll see that later on how we can create our custom profile. Right now, the thread profile I'm keeping as default only. Then about the nosing length. Notice nosing length is sometimes when you see in staircase, you have this stairs, something like this. Okay, so this is your nosing length. Uh, this portion is your nosing length, okay, which is slightly coming out, okay, higher than the riser, sticking out from the riser actually. So, which you can increase this. You can give this nosing length of 50 mm. Apply and click on OK, and one more time apply and OK. So slightly, if I switch this view, you can see we have nosing length. Temporarily delete this side support so that you can see them. Hide this side support actually. Right. We can give different shape of nosing length also. So like if sometimes we have shape that goes like that also, like it has curve actually, okay, round shape. Sketch. Okay, so we can again select the stairs, come into the edit type, and you can change the run type. And in run type, you have this option called nosing profile. So it is right now default, which we can change. We can use a profile radius of 30 mm. So see it like goes a profile radius of 30 mm. And then if I take 40 mm, what will happen? It will still apply it, but like it will create a little notch in the bottom basically where you can insert your profile light also. Now we can create the nosing of the stair also. So हम लोग profile भी create कर सकते हैं हमारा nosing profile भी हम लोग create कर सकते हैं of your own, okay, any shape, whatever shape you wanted to create. These are the system default that are given. Like you have 20 mm one, you have 30 mm one, and you have 40 mm one. So you can choose which type of nosing profile you wanted to use, basically. Or you can create of your own as well, basically. Now it tells you over here that apply nosing profile. and it says front only. Okay, so it will only apply to the front portion of the stairs. It will not apply to the sides of these stairs basically. So if you want to apply this nosing on the side end as well, we can select maybe on front and the left side. So it will apply on the front side and the left side of the stairs. Maybe you want to apply front and the right side. You can take front and the right side. Okay, so right side goes on the other side actually. And if you take front, left, and right, so it will all apply to all the three sides. Okay, so whichever sides you wanted to apply these nosing profiles, you can apply them. Okay. Then we have this option about riser. So if you don't want the risers to be applied, you can uncheck this. What will happen? There will be no risers, just threads would be there. So you have the side support and you have these threads, no risers in the stairs. Okay. You can add the middle support also. We'll add that later on. If you wanted to add a middle support, you just have to tick this. There will be a middle support. Don't want it, you can untick it, and there will be no middle support actually. Okay. Now, once again, we can come into the runtime. If you want to add the riser, you can click on riser option, and it will also add the risers. Okay. Then its option says we are slanted. Now these risers are pretty straight actually. Okay, so if you wanted to slant the riser, you can click on the slanted option. Now, what will happen if you observe, risers will go a little bit slanted actually. Slant risers, you can do that. And if you don't want slant risers, you can uncheck the slanted option so that it will create straight ones. Then you can change the thickness of the riser as well, which is right now 12.5 mm of thickness. Maybe I'm going to give like 18 mm thickness to the riser. Okay, so you can change the thickness, okay, of the riser. You can also apply the profile. Right now I'm keeping default because the thread profile also I'll keep it as default, and the riser profile also I've kept it as default only. Then we have this option called riser to thread connection. Now this is important, riser to thread connection. So in this you have three options. So option one is about extend the riser behind the threads basically. So what will happen over here, as you can see, this riser is extending and the thread stops first basically. Okay. Now if I select the second option, extend the threads under the riser. So now what will happen? The thread will extend it and the riser will stop on the threads basically. Okay, as you can see, in the first option was this. So the riser was extending and the thread was then hitting the riser actually. Now in the second option, what happens? The thread extends and the riser will hit the thread basically. And the third option is join all risers and threads. So if I do that, okay, now it should join, but what it is, I have applied two separate material, so it is not joining actually. So suppose if I apply the same material to the riser as well, the same thread material to the risers, and see, so you can see it will joint off. So it joins, the threads joins with the riser. Okay. You see, it says join all risers and threads. And if I don't, this is what is going to happen. Second option and the third option. Okay. So these are the three options of riser to thread connections basically. So how you want to join the riser with the threads basically. And this is important for construction metrics or showing the construction detailings basically. Right. These are the parameters that you get in the run types basically. Okay, so you can apply the thread material, riser material, the thread thickness, thread profile, nosing length, nosing profile, applying nosing profile, risers, slanted riser, riser thickness, riser profile, riser to thread connections. Okay. You can also give the identity data like the manufacturer name and the cost of the objects. Okay, cost per unit. Okay, you can apply it then over here. So maybe your plywood is costing you what's the amount basically there. You can type the cost amount and then you can click on OK. So this was about the run type basically. Second in the construction is about the landing type basically. Okay, but we'll not do the landing type right now because it would be too much confusing for you to learn all together at once. So we'll keep it till here today, where we ended up with the run types only. Okay, there is more to come. There is even an option for supports, even for option for graphics, and again the option for identity data basically. Okay, now this is only for the assemble stairs edit. Similarly, we can edit the cast in place stairs as well and precast staircase as well basically. Okay, so try up till here, then we'll go ahead with the other editing function parameters tomorrow. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir.
I have already sent the link for the download options. So you can download all the lecture videos from the OneDrive link. If the link is not clicking, just try after some time. Maybe it might be busy or I don't know, there's some server problem. So once that is solved, you can download from there. Okay, it will open up.
So actually the link only has videos till the 21st of May. After that, none of the videos are there.
Um, what date you said? 24th May.
So 21st May.
24th से लेके नहीं आया हुआ है आपको. Okay, I'll send this all these links all together basically. Actually, they're in this.
So if you could just invite us on this Teams platform, then we can automatically get the recordings without you actually having to send them. So we can download it from the chat box.
I don't
Like
know how to.
every. Also, maybe you can just create a team on like Teams.
I'll,
So
I'll take a
I
look.
think you should. Yeah. So if you go to Teams, then over there there'll be an option to create the team. So then you can add us all.
Okay, okay, I got it. This team link.
Yes.
Okay, I'll create one.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Okay, guys, thank you.
Thanks, sir. Bye.